how many Chiefs games do you think you're getting? I know you mentioned that number.
I'm going to shuttle down to the first one that I see is Kansas City at Minnesota Week 5.
Mm-hmm.
A doubleheader game. We know that Minnesota had a very good regular season last year. Of course, KC is arguably the biggest catch in the entire schedule for anybody. We know about the Dallas history. Everybody wants the Cowboys, but KC's on that level now as the champs and with Mahomes. And then later on, 2 weeks later to be exact, Week 7, I anticipate that we'll be doing Chargers at KC, doubleheader game 425. And then we'll see them again weeks 14, 16, and 17. This is what I alluded to last night. In the month of December, basically going to live in KC. I've got Buffalo at KC week 14, Vegas at KC on Christmas Day, Cincinnati at KC on New Year's Eve. So those are blockbuster games. Buffalo and Cincinnati, especially, those two matchups against KC. You're talking, in the Cincinnati case, the last two AFC championship matchups came down to a field goal in each case. And then, of course, Buffalo and Kansas City with that epic divisional game a season ago, 2 seasons ago, I guess you would say now.
Yeah.
And a great regular season game at Arrowhead last year. They come back. The Bills again come back to Arrowhead. And that's just a blockbuster for us. Those were games 1 and 2, I believe, on our hit list when we went in and talked to the league, and we got them.
And again, you may have, who knows, obviously, back-to-back Chiefs games when the playoffs begin. You may have that too, Jim. You may.
Well, I don't anticipate seeing them on, but you never know with only one team getting the bye. Maybe
right.
Cincinnati KC on December 31 is for the number 1 seed. Who knows? It's easy to project right now, but
right.
you don't know how a season breaks out, and injuries and all that. But I think there's a really strong chance we'd see him divisional weekend and AFC Championship week, and maybe even in Las Vegas. So, you add it up. If they were to make that kind of run all the way to the Super Bowl, I think it adds up to 9 games that we would see.
Wow.
Yeah, maybe it's 8 or 9 games of the Chiefs. This is what it used to be like, getting back to how we started. Back in the Brady Belichick days, Phil and I would do 8 or 9 Patriot games a year, riding them through the playoffs and the regular season. So they were the flagship team of the network at that time, and rightfully so, and KC is in this era.
And could you imagine how much we would be making these connections between Mahomes and Brady, other than what you just mentioned, had Mahomes beaten Brady in that Super Bowl in Tampa a couple of years ago, Jim? Because this kid is the only one would think. Obviously, Allen is yet to make a Super Bowl, and Burrow has made one but lost it. He appears to be the only one that could possibly, in the realm of approaching the universe of Tom Brady's numbers, if the longevity and the success level can be sustained. I mean, that is a long way to go, but he is that special. Yeah. I think and I know fans are like sick and tired of hearing that already. Might have Mahomes fatigue. I hate to say, you better get used to it. We just talked about it, obviously, about what they're going to see through your microphone and your top-notch cruise lens. But this is the truth, Jim. That's what's at stake in a way this year.
Listen, people sometimes grow weary or tired of winners and the story repeating itself, but it's kind of like Tiger back in his heyday. You may root for him. A lot of people did. You may not root for him. And there were those out there that weren't rooting for him because they just grew tired of watching him play all the time. Why are you guys showing him so much? But the truth is, everybody wants to know what he's doing at all times. And that is the same that pertains to Mahomes. You want to know what he's doing. And he's got 3 Super Bowl appearances. He's got 2 rings. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to handicap it when you're talking about a player still in his 20s, and you've got so much more talent out there. I mean, it's just what the AFC has at the quarterback position. It's almost unfair. It really is. And I'm not saying that boasting because we're the AFC network, but you just rattle off some names, and you didn't mention Justin Herbert. You didn't mention Lamar Jackson. You didn't mention Trevor Lawrence. And there are other guys. I mean, Deshaun Watson. We can't draw any conclusions about what his ability is off the handful of games he played at the end of last season. What about Kenny Pickett? Is he going to be good? Who knows? Maybe Will Levis is going to be the guy that some people thought might go first off the board 2 weeks ago during the draft. Maybe Tennessee hit on something there. But, look, you got Aaron Rodgers now to add to that long list of talented quarterbacks. Russell Wilson, does he come back to life? Jimmy G. I mean, I think that was a great offseason acquisition by the Raiders. So it's I'm sorry, Tua. I left Tua off.
That's true. No, I know, but I'd do the same thing too.
On that list, you
Jim.
mentioned already Josh, and you mentioned Joe.
Yeah,
but it goes on and on and on, and it's just mind-boggling what's going on out here in the AFC with the quarterback position.
And C.J. Stroud with the Texans, and the quarterback that most analysts and observers generally thinks has the biggest upside of all the rookie quarterbacks, and Anthony Richardson winding up in Indianapolis. And just to bring it all.
I'm sorry to overlook those.
No. I mean, there's too many. You can't name all 16. But and then it's interesting that you equated Mahomes to Tiger, because they both are wear red on Victory Sundays, right? I mean, like this is.
That's true.
This is.
No, it's getting to the point where the AFC. You're getting to the point where you go into the draft. Does anybody now? I know there are exceptions, but you're getting to where the quarterback position does not need to be addressed in most cases. Really true. That's unusual. Now, the same can't be said on the NFC side. Obviously, there are stars over there, but it doesn't have the star power that the AFC does.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.